Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Real Money, Real Business podcast. I'm Lauren, and today we have Yester on the show, who's selling an Amazon FBA business on the Empire Flippers marketplace. Hey Yester, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Hi Lauren, I'm doing fine, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Wonderful. Yeah, really excited to have you here. Looking forward to talking to you a bit more. But before we dive in, I'm going to give the listeners a brief overview of the business so they know exactly what we're talking about. As I mentioned, this is an Amazon FBA business. It was created in March 2021, and it's in the bed and bath and home niches. The average revenue for the business is $38,636 per month, and it makes an average of $9,590 per month in net profit. The assets included with the business are an Amazon Seller Central account with 7 SKUs, a domain and all site content and files, supplier relationships, Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest social media accounts, trademarks, an email list with 240 subscribers, and liability insurance should the buyer wish to take over the policy. Please note that inventory is not normally included in the list price, but further details can be provided to verified buyers. For everyone listening, you can visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing number 63943 to learn more about this business. Or you can unlock this listing to start your due diligence if you're interested in purchasing this asset. So now let's hear from the seller. Yester, can you fill us in on your background in starting and running online businesses?
Yeah, sure. So this is my first completely online business. I've had 2 businesses before this. The last business is a fashion brand. Together with my wife, we actually still run. My wife is a fashion designer. We mostly sell here in Bolivia, where I live. And I studied IT, so I'm helping her doing the admin side, exportations, and basically everything that you need a computer for. And then a couple years back, the pandemic hit and all the lockdowns made it harder for us to sell through our physical shops in Bolivia. So I started to investigate new ways to sell and looking for different income streams. And that's when I discovered FBA. And FBA straight away seemed like a good fit with my IT qualities. But after all, doing some research, we didn't think it would be a good fit with my wife's clothing brand. But the whole space just seemed so interesting to me that I started investigating other niches and eventually found 2 niches that were really interesting. Gave it a shot, and fortunately, both of those products sold really well. So what attracted me was that everything was online. I'm more of a person that works best when working on my own. And with my IT background, it just seemed perfect. At the same time, e-commerce is getting bigger and bigger. And the advantage of selling online is the fact that you can scale so quickly. It really doesn't matter if you sell 10 or 1,000 items per day. The workload is almost the same. So if you do it right, it presents this amazing opportunity to grow fast, earn money, with relatively little work that you can do from any place in the world.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. There's so many benefits to selling online, as you say. Were you ever tempted to try any of the other e-commerce platforms like Shopify or Walmart, or were you set on FBA from the beginning?
Yeah, basically I was set on FBA from the beginning. Also, since I'm living here in Bolivia, FBA and especially Amazon FBA is the easiest option for me. Amazon has their own warehouses. So FBA is just the perfect option from a remote place that I'm living in.
Yeah, certainly. You mentioned that you started with 2 specific products. What made you choose those 2 products to start out with?
Well, I did a lot of analysis. So once the pandemic hit, basically had a lot of more free time on my hands because the shops and the business we had here in Bolivia was basically standstill. So I did a lot of analysis, basically looked at pretty much everything I could think of, and then found this bed, home, and bath niche that I found some products in that really looked interesting, that there wasn't a lot of competition, the profit margins seemed right. So I went ahead and went for it.
Fantastic. Yeah. And you certainly chose your product well because the business has experienced a great deal of success since you started it a year and a half ago. What are the reasons you've decided to sell the business now?
Yeah, so it's probably a combination of reasons. First of all, just a really practical one, and that's a year-long road trip we have planned with my wife, our two kids, and some of my friends. So that's been planned for a while now, and we really want to do that. And then, to be completely honest, is my financial situation. A good part of what I have is in this FBA business. So it's kind of scary and exciting at the same time to see those net profit numbers coming in every month and growing the business. And I think if I would continue, I'm at a point where I should probably start thinking about scaling a bit more, optimizing a bit better, gaining some more knowledge in PPC or hire PPC manager, etc. So at this point in my life, I just prefer to seek a little bit of financial stability. And then, if I sell, I have some more money on the bank. I can do this road trip and come back even more motivated and excited. And who knows, start a new FBA business in a different area. So I still believe there's lots of opportunities in the FBA space, and I've got some more experience now. So it's all very exciting.
Yeah, that all sounds really wonderful, especially that road trip. It sounds like selling this business will give you the freedom to really pursue all of your dreams. Looking back on your journey with this business, what would you say was your biggest win or achievement since starting the business?
Yeah, so my first two products are still the biggest profit makers. So the biggest win for me is probably having done my research, my design, the listing, very good on those two first products. Because after all, when you just start out, it's really kind of a test. But I knew that if I did everything right, then the worst what could happen was probably selling those products and not making any money, but not losing any money either. So fortunately, they were starting to sell good right from the start, and that was amazing motivation to keep on going, reinvest the profits into more stock, and scale to this point where I'm at now.
Yeah, certainly. It's great that you were able to find success straight away. Some people, they have to go through a few iterations of products before they hit on the right one, but it's great that you were able to find that straight away. Was there anything that didn't quite go according to plan? Any setbacks or challenges that you encountered?
Yeah, definitely. I think every business has its setbacks or challenges. For example, my biggest setback was probably my very first shipment. It actually got lost in a big storm at sea. And I was so disappointed. I couldn't believe my bad luck. I missed Q4 and I had to wait another 3 months before my second shipment finally arrived in late March. So that was a big disappointment and setback. As for challenges, one big one, for example, was to combine this FBA business with the other one I had and my family at the same time. So in the beginning, it meant I had to wake up early, started working at 6 a.m. to get 2 hours of complete focus. Then I went off to my other job. And in the evening, after the kids went to bed, I did some more work. But in the end, it was very rewarding. From the moment you make that first sale and seeing it grow, it's just amazing. And then along the way, of course, I got settled in better, organized myself better, and now I work less than ever and earn more than I did before. So it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's great that you were able to come out of those challenges even stronger than before. Losing your first shipment it was good that you were able to come back from that. I think a lot of people would have given up after that.
Yeah, I was confident that my products and my research was good. It was a big setback, but in the end, it just delayed me from making those first sales. But luckily, everything went fine after that.
Yeah, you've certainly built the business up to a strong point after that initial setback. Looking at your traffic now, do you use PPC or listing description SEO to drive customers to your products?
Yeah, so I use a combination of PPC and the listing description SEO to drive traffic. I think you kind of have to do both these days, and both you have to do pretty good to drive sales. So I would say a combination of both is most effective. And in the beginning, I bought this FBA course online, and it really helped me with a lot of the fundamentals. I learn quickly, and I think I'm pretty good at learning new things. So I basically handle everything myself, from PPC to CEO to the website and a little bit of marketing. But these days, I think you kind of have to do a combination of all of it to really make your business successful.
Yeah, that's true. Especially, with so much competition around, you definitely have to take advantage of both. I see you've got a couple of social media channels as well. Do you drive any traffic from social media or you do any marketing on there?
Honestly, hardly. That would be something that I would have to improve on, or potential buyer could definitely improve on. I don't use them too much. I do have an email marketing list of about 240 subscribers, and I send them about one email per month. But it's something that I honestly should dive in a little bit deeper.
Well, following on from that, what do you see as the major opportunities for growth with this business?
Yeah, so there are some product improvements I'm planning to do. I'm working on that. As long as no buyer has been found, it's just business as usual. So these improvements could help the review rating of some of the SKUs and don't really cost anything. So it would also give some extra value to the products. Then there are a few new products I'm thinking of. One of them is actually being designed right now. I'm excited about that one. Then there is expansion. First off, I would expand to Canada. Late last year and early this year, I was actually selling in Mexico and Canada through remote fulfillment. And it added about 5 to 10% of revenue. But then quite quickly after that, some rules changed. And now I can't sell through remote fulfillment. So I would actually have to ship it there. But it seems like a quick win to do that, at least for the two main SKUs. And I've actually already got a Canadian business number, so I'm planning that. Then there's PPC, shipping, storage. Those three items could probably be more optimized. I mentioned that I do all of it myself, and as much as I like to think I learn quickly, I'm still relatively new in the FBA space. So PPC could probably be done better. Then there's stock. I have a little bit too much stock, so optimizing storage is something I definitely have to do. And then finally, Q4 is around the corner. So although my main SKUs sell well all year round, Q4 is definitely the best time of year. Last year, I had nice net profits in Q4, and I kind of expect this year to go well too. So that could be a little bonus for a potential buyer as well.
Yeah, that's a great point. It's a good time of year to be buying businesses to take advantage of that holiday season. Turning to your inventory now, can you walk us through what your supply chain looks like? How many suppliers do you have? Where are they based? And how does the inventory get to Amazon warehouses?
Yeah, I think I have a relatively simple supply chain. I've got three suppliers, all from China. Most of the contact goes through WhatsApp or just by email. The communication is great and they are really helpful. I've never had any big issues. So basically, what I do is I make a PO document, have them sign it, and then stamp it. Then with my biggest supplier, I have 20/80 agreement, paying 20% upfront and then 80% after the order is finished or inspected. I then contact the shipper. They pick it up from the supplier and ship it by sea to either my 3PL in California or directly into Amazon. So it takes about 20 to 25 days for an order to be ready for shipment. And then the shipping by sea takes another 40 days or so. So in total, you're talking about 65 days to replenish inventory.
Right. Okay. And how often are you ordering new stock from your suppliers?
I try to order about every 100 days, more or less. 100 days, 120 days. Last year, there were a lot of problems in shipping and inventory problems in Amazon, a lot of inventory limits in Amazon. So this year, I kind of got excited. And unfortunately, I ordered a little bit too much stock, trying to prevent stockouts and taking into account any delays there might have been. So I got a little bit too excited, ordered a bit too much inventory, and that's one of the issues that could also definitely be improved on.
Are you using a 3PL to store your excess or overflow stock, or are you able to store that at Amazon?
Yeah, I've got a 3PL in California. So sometimes I ship directly to my 3PL and then ship it kind of slowly into Amazon. And if I've got enough storage within Amazon, sometimes I prefer to ship it directly into Amazon because it saves you a lot of storage costs and shipping costs.
Yeah, very true. Do you know what your current Amazon inventory limits are?
Yeah, so I've got a limit of about 12,600 units right now.
Okay, perfect. So, do you have any employees who help you with this business, or are you running it all yourself?
No, I'm running this all myself. I don't have any employees yet. That's one of the things I mentioned to you earlier. I think if I would continue this business, I would probably have to scale a little bit more, maybe think of a PPC manager and optimizing a few things, outsourcing a few things. Yeah, so those things get done a little bit better because in the end, I learn fast. I like to do things, everything myself, but I'm sure there's other experts that do things a little bit better and have a little bit knowledge than I do.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier that, when you started out, you were working more hours and now you've managed to streamline it and make it a bit more passive. So, what does a typical work week look like for you? How many hours are you working on the business and what sort of things are taking up your time?
Yeah, so I'll probably work about 10 hours a week on this business. Day to day tasks are general tasks like keeping track of sales, inventory, responding to any messages if there are any, which usually actually there aren't. Then on a weekly basis or bi-weekly basis, I do some PPC maintenance, see if I can improve anything or should adjust anything. And aside from that, I keep track of my own numbers, the profits each month, all the statistics, and this also usually gives me some input on what I need to look out for next month or what I can improve on. And in between, there's research, investigation, looking at new potential products or learning more about PPC and the FBA space in general.
Fantastic. Yeah. So, with all of that in mind, what do you think the biggest challenge will be for a buyer taking over this business?
Yeah, looking forward, being completely honest, the biggest challenge is getting my inventory under control. I don't necessarily think it's going to be very hard, or it might actually be an improvement opportunity as well. But the fact is that I should have done my inventory management a little bit better. I'm overstocked currently, and there are two SKUs in particular that are currently not selling that well. And this overstock position could hurt the brand or Amazon account in the long run. But then again, I'm honest about it, and I mentioned in the vetting process, I'm flexible and willing to negotiate on the inventory purchase, so I'm confident we can get to an agreement with any interested buyer on this.
Yeah, getting a handle on inventory is a difficult thing to figure out exactly how much you need. How much support are you willing to offer buyers to help teach them about all these challenges they might encounter?
Yeah, I like to believe I'm a very flexible and open guy, so of course, I will be very cooperative and helpful in any question the buyer has, or give advice or my personal opinion in matters if they like. And more specifically, I would say that the first 60 days I can provide email and phone call support. Then after the first 60 days, I can keep on providing email support with an average response time of 2 business days for another 30 days maybe. And even after that, I'm completely willing to keep on responding to any emails for another period of time. But, kind of logically, I would expect as the time goes on that support will be only for urgent matters and will kind of slowly die down.
Yeah, certainly. As the buyer learns more about the business, it should definitely die down. When it comes time to negotiating the sale, would you be open to something like an earnout agreement?
I would prefer as much cash upfront as possible, but if it's important to the buyer, then I'm open to negotiate an earnout. We would have to see the specifics, but yes, it's a possibility.
Wonderful. And would you commit to a non-compete agreement?
Yes, a non-compete agreement is not a problem. For the niches that I'm selling in, it would be not a problem to sign a non-compete agreement.
Great. Well, yes, I'm sure there's lots of young entrepreneurs listening in, first-time business owners who are maybe considering starting their own FBA business. Is there any advice that you could give to them that you wish you knew when you first started this business?
Well, hang in there. It's not going to be easy. Definitely, it's not going to be easy. It's going to take a lot of research, a lot of time, effort, maybe early in the morning, late at night. But hang in there. If you do your research right, if you stick with what you're convinced at, then it's going to be all right. It's going to go well for you. But you really have to stick with your beliefs.
Yeah, that's very true. You need a thick skin to be an entrepreneur, but there's lots of money to be made if you just hang in there.
Yeah, and the reward is beautiful as well. So if you get this done, even if you fail the first time, you learn from that and then you keep on improving. And in the end, you will get it done. And then the reward is so much beautiful as well because you're going to have more freedom, more time on your hands. Financially, the reward is probably going to be better than you're receiving now. So there's a lot of benefits also.
Yeah, very true. The rewards definitely outweigh the risks. So, Jester, that leads us through to the final question of the interview, which is, if you had to put yourself into the shoes of a buyer, why do you think your business is a business worth buying?
Yeah, so talking about risk versus rewards, then FBA in general is just very interesting. The time you spend per week compared to what you earn is just amazing. So in this case, you would be buying a relatively new business, but with healthy and stable profits shown over the last year and enough growth opportunities to scale it further. There's expansion to other markets, product improvements, new products, optimization in general. And at the same time, it's great timing. Q4 is coming up with great profits almost guaranteed, and e-commerce is just getting bigger and bigger. So with all the opportunities on the table, there's definitely room for future growth aside from the healthy profits the business is already making. So I would say just have a look, get ready to be excited, and whatever question you have, I'm here.
Wonderful. Is there anything else you'd like to share with our listeners that I might have missed?
No, thank you, Laureen, for having me here.
Fantastic. Well, Jester, thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing more about yourself and your business. It's been an absolute pleasure having you here, and I appreciate you taking the time out of your day.
My pleasure.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this listing has already been sold, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing number 63943. If you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. Once you've unlocked this listing, you'll be given everything you need to know about this business. So until next time, enjoy your digital journey.